And this is certainly the toughest one I've ever done because the way these windows are made is just really very hard to work on.
Hello everybody. Well, work continues here on Yavyum in Annapolis, and we are working on ways of keeping water out of the boat. So we are working on windows and hatches, and it's very encouraging.
So at this point, Vin, we've had to fabricate clips for the corners because 2 of them were damaged. And we had to fabricate bolts that were the right length. We couldn't buy them, and we couldn't reuse the old ones either. So we fabricated bolts. We drilled holes and tapped them. We've now trial assembled the frame to see that it actually goes together properly, and we're now masking, covering up the plexiglass and the aluminum. When we get all done, everything you see is going to be covered with tape or paper so that we don't leave silicone everywhere. Silicone creeps. It's one of these things that goes everywhere, whether you like it or not. We've made some little piece of plastic here to cover the plexiglass with, and they've been cut purposely smaller than the plexiglass. The line of the caulking is set by the tape we just put down, and this is just going to cover the middle of the plexiglass so it doesn't get all covered in silicone.
And then it'll cure for 24 hours or so?
So I like to let it cure for about a day. Nothing sacred about that because silicone will cure a little faster than that. And then when we're all done, it's all assembled and the silicone's cured, we're going to use butyl and bolt this into the cabin side. And the cabin, there's 2 separate joints. There's a joint between the plexiglass and the aluminum, that's going to be silicone, and a joint between the aluminum and the fiberglass, that's going to be the butyl tape. One of the mistakes we made yesterday, which wasn't a fatal mistake, but which would have made our lives a lot easier. We could have put the interior braces in, and those would have been easier to screw in than the exterior braces. In this case, because these things are at 90 degrees, it's just going to be easier for me to bolt them in because we're just going to slide them in anyway. And this is certainly the toughest one I've ever done because the way these windows are made is just really very hard to work on. The going gets everywhere. It's just kind of a messy proposition. So you got gloves on? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. This is actually going really fast. I mean, yesterday it took a long time to get the channel here full of caulk. That may have been a defective tube somehow. We're going to stand it on end. Just stand it up a little bit more. There you go, perfect. That gave me so much trouble before. So we got it completely covering the corners, and then we have a nice neat fillet in there, which is part of the goal of this. And I'm not going to bother to use a washer. But let's see. We actually ended up pretty well centered in there in terms of the amount of plexiglass we're exposing. We're exposing a little bit more at the top and the bottom, which is not the ideal. You really want to expose more at the bottom, but that's okay. But we also really made a quick time of it today in terms of getting the plexiglass into the frame before the caulk had a chance to go off on us.
Plus, it's noticeably less hot and less humid right now.
That's why I wanted to do this first thing this morning, so we had a chance so we had a chance while it was cooler to maybe accomplish this. Also, Amy, you're really good at holding things steady, which made it much easier for me to get those screws in there. Having the third person handing us the screws so you can continue holding the frame. One of the things we ran into yesterday was Vin and I had to keep changing people to, so.
Yeah, and plus I can't film and be the
Well, that part,
helper. That's
I don't
important.
care about that part.
Yeah, I know you don't, but
That's not my department. That's above my pay grade. And we did the same thing. Ooh, how much we had left in there? So that's not exactly perfect. Ideally, you want more caulk on the outside of the window than you have on the inside of the window, but that's all right.
This is the window that actually was leaking when we bought the boat. There was stains from this window in the bathroom when we purchased the boat.
No, so there you go.
So it's been a long time. That this one is.
You know, I when I redid my deck, there was all these leaks that had shown up over the 20 years I've owned my boat. You know, it was really heartening that they all went away except one. And now I have a hunch where the other one was. It wasn't. I have suspected where I thought it was, and it probably is. It's not hardware. It's where the hatch on the deck slides into the storm hood. There's a false bottom on the storm hood that keeps water from getting down into the cabin.
There's two here.
Yeah, I think it's more bolts in here. Vinny, this dinghy that I'm sitting on,
yeah.
bought for $35 almost 40 years ago.
Oh wow. I like the hard dinghies.
Well, this one is really a pretty crummy dinghy in stuff. So I think we'll take this up to the workshop, Vin, and we'll have to put those bolted connections in. But I'm looking at what we ended up with in terms of where we have caulk and where we don't have caulk. It looks like we got caulk pretty much everywhere we need it. That's the good news. And it held water, which is the good news. So I gotta take all this, what do you call it, off of here, the masking.